Hi Flosstube, I'm Lori and welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. Today is Sunday, August 15th, 2021. It is about 11:30 in the morning and it's a beautiful sunny day here on the East Coast. We've just come out of like 3 or 4 days of 90 degrees feeling like 100. So it's a little bit more refreshing now that it's supposed to be in the 80s for a couple of days. So that'll be nice. Welcome to my channel. I'm so happy that you come back and see me all the time, and anybody new, welcome. We try to have fun here and catch up with each other and do all those stitchy things. So today it should be pretty short and sweet. I have some stitching to show you and just one quilt at the very end so that people that are not interested can bow out gracefully. And that's about it. So let's get right into it. I'm going to do a little life update. The last time we were together, I had said that I was preparing for another family barbecue, but we weren't that many. We were only about 14. So my in-laws live in New York, so they come out, and then my kids are here. So it was a lot of fun. It ended up being nice weather. They were able to go in the swimming pool, so it was great. And it started out drizzly, so we said, "Oh no!" But it worked out just really good. But the day before, my son Michael and Rebecca had asked us to go to the beach with them, with Caleb, and I think it was his second time at the beach. They brought him down once before, and there was no way I was going to say no, because prior to that I had said, if you ever go down before the season, let me know. I'd like to see how he reacts to the sand and whatnot. But we didn't get a chance to do it before the season, and we left early enough that we missed the traffic, because coming home, we didn't stay that many hours, just maybe 5 or so, and we left at 7:30 in the morning, and I think we were home by 1:30, 2 o'clock. But the traffic going south at that time was pretty heavy. There was a couple of accidents, unfortunately, on the parkway. But it was such a joy to see Caleb play in the sand. The water, he was a little afraid of the waves because, as they go back out, it kind of pulls him off his feet. But there was a jetty there, and my husband walked him over there, and they were looking for shells, and there were seagulls there. So it was a lot of fun. So I have to, I was tired. Then the next day was the barbecue, and I gotta say, I stitched every single day. I don't know if I mentioned this in my last video. I stitched every single day from January 1st until July. Then July, I think I had 5 or 6 days that I did not touch a needle. And this month I had a couple of days too, so far. And it's just like I guess it's my age too. When things are going on and I'm tired and I just don't want to stitch at night. But anyway, then yesterday, we were to have a meetup at Needleworkers yesterday, and for one reason or another, people just couldn't make it, and we ended up being 4, and it was great seeing them just the same, whether we were 4 or 14. But so it was a lot of fun, and then we got to Zoom with some of the people that weren't able to make it live yesterday. So we caught up no matter what. But I had a great time, and I was looking for a rainbow gallery thread, because I had one of the threads, and I think it was an 8-stranded thread, and I was looking for a thinner, but they didn't have it in gold. So I swapped it out for something else. I'll show it to you in a little bit. But while I was doing that, somebody approached me. Now, we have to wear masks in the store. So somebody came up to me and says, "Lori?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "I just love your video." And I was like, wow, people actually recognize me with a mask on. That's cool. She was a lovely woman. She didn't live too far. I would say if I had to drive there, it would be about a half an hour from my home. Her name was Maureen, and we chatted, and it was so much fun, and I was trying to convince her to make a floss tube. So Maureen, if you're watching, first, hello, and I'll be waiting for that floss tube because I'll be your first viewer. I always try to encourage people that don't make floss tubes to try it because of the wonderful responses that I get and the people that I've met through it. I really think it's a boost to people's, like if you're down in the dumps or something and you get somebody responds to your video, you're like, oh, life's not that bad, and it kind of soothes your anxiety. I know it does for me, and so I'm always happy when I get people talking with me and giving me suggestions and asking me questions. I really do. So please make a video, I'll watch. Alrighty, finishes. The only thing I wanted to show you is this one right here, which I said that I was going to put myself and finish the sleeve in the back, which you can't really see because it kind of blends, but it's in here. And this is to hang on this little hanger. I took my August little country cottage off for now just to show you this. But you can hang this on anything. That you can even do a dowel rod with two little wooden beads at the end and a fancy cord and hang it anywhere. So that's my fully finished on Once in a Blue Moon by Calico Confectionery. And thanks to my friend Helen who gifted it to me. Alrighty, new starts and whips. It was the beginning of August, and I had scheduled 2 new starts. The first one was Little House Needleworks, Little House Neighborhood, I think. Yep, Little House Neighborhood. And I think I saw Dena half stitch, cross stitch this. And I just love the colors in it. And I thought it was so pretty that I added it to my want to start pile, and it was scheduled for August 1st, and this is how far I've gotten on it. And the goal on this is to finish the border at the top, which I just worked it to the Q-snap, and the tree. So this section I got a little bit more done than I wrote that I wanted to complete, and then I have to do the top border. So I really love the way it's looking. I'll come in a little bit closer. It calls for DMCs, and I'm using DMCs, and I think it's so pretty. So that was the first one. The second one that I was supposed to meaning that I had planned on starting, was Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Design. But I took it out to look at it, and I only had a 2-inch border around, enough on this piece of fabric that I had. And I said, if I just putting it in a Q-snap, it takes up space. And if I don't start right at that edge to make sure I have enough room on both sides, I could be way too short on the other side. So I was disheartened by that. And then the other thing I was disheartened by was it started with a satin stitch. Not that I haven't done satin stitches before, because I have, but I just couldn't wrap my head around it at this time. So I said, I'll just swap it out for another Blackbird that I want to stitch, and that's what I did. Little House Needlework, sometimes I forget to say this, is on a 28 count ivory Lugana. And the one that I've chosen to stitch in lieu of Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird is The Spell of the Moon by Blackbird. And that's the pattern. This was originally a small chart, and then it was out of print, and then they put it in the book Winds of Autumn. And this is stitched on a 28 count platinum Lugana. And even though I had finished my 2-day rotation on this, I couldn't stitch anymore if I wanted to because I ran out of black coffee. So I placed an order with 123 Stitch, and because my needlework store didn't have it, and I put an order with 123 Stitch, but I put an order in with some other colors that they didn't have, and I think they're holding up my order. So I'm hoping by the end of August, beginning of September, I'll be able to get it so that I can continue working on this. It's only 3 colors in it, and I'm using the Call For. And that's how far it's gotten. And I like this. I don't have a goal on this because I didn't think about it in the beginning, but I'd like to shoot for a finish this year. Then the next one I picked up was Halloween Quaker by Leela Studio. And I'm doing this on a 28 count Haunted Lugana that needleworkers dyed for me. The stitch count is 261 by 180. And the goal was, which I completed in the beginning of the year when I took this out prior, was the cats, and I think this and this. So I had completed that. So I went down to this quarter and I stitched the spiders and the spider web and the pumpkin and those 2 little motifs, for a better word. And then at the bottom of that comes this row of houses. So I don't know if I'll come down and do that. I mean, this is the fun of planning how you're going to attack a pattern. You know, do you go across, do you go down, do you skip around? So the next time I pick it up, that's when I decide how I will stitch it. Then was the barbecue, and I said, I want to do something, but I don't want to think hard. So I picked up a prairie schooler that I was going to stitch on in October. But I picked this up, and I was going to do this dove that says peace with the houses. And I stitched on it, but because I was tired, I just did. This was a 2-day, and that's all I got done. Probably under normal circumstances of how I stitch so many hours a night, I probably could have completed this. This is on a 28 count Springfield Sage Lugana. So not do anything, I picked that up. Then after that, I picked up the Haunted Mansion. Now, this is the first part, which is like the house and the surrounding. And then the individual rooms were sold separately. So I want to see if I find this one. This was the last one of the skeletons here, and it shows you basically what the whole pattern would look like. And my goal on this was to complete the rooms. And I did. I finished the Frankenstein room. I'll call them the Frankenstein room. And then I went down and stitched this one. And this is a 28 count Lugana. And needleworkers dyed this for me. And I know somebody who watched my videos really liked the fabric and contacted them and said they wanted what I had. And that's when they contacted me, and I went in with this piece to show them what the fabric looked like. And so they took pictures because it wasn't in their normal lot of dye, and I think they dyed her a piece of that. The next one was the Red House Sampler, and the goal on this was to do the top border, the alphabet, and then this first row. And I think that was a pretty good goal, but I think I made it because I started it early in the year. So I knew that I had a number of months that I could work on it to do that. So this time when I met that goal. So this time when I picked it up, here's the finished piece, not the finished piece so far. And what I've done is I worked on, I stitched in 5 flowers. The 6th one was there, but I didn't fill it in. So I filled that all in, and I came down, I did the leaves, and I added these doohickeys spots. And then where the Q snap was, I could only do the leaves on this side of this middle border, middle motif, and the 2 trees. And then I just did the line across. So when I pick this up again, I most likely will finish the trees on this side, then move the Q snap to the other side, finish the leaves, and then do the trees on that side. So for where I'm talking about, so I'm here on this side. If I can get these trees done, and then I don't know how many days I have left this year to work on it. Finish the leaves around here and maybe those trees. But the flowers around the border take me time. It's not something that you can almost memorize the flower pattern, because all it takes is 1 stitch to be off, and it's off. And then we're ripping out. Okay, my next, so this was Friday and Saturday. This week I had Caleb 3 days. And then yesterday was a meetup at Needleworkers, where I didn't want to bring something that I had to concentrate on. I rather have been talking and catching up, and that's what I did. So I brought the Just Cross Stitch magazine challenge to stitch 12, 1 each month, and this is the September ornament, and it's called St. Lucy's Light by the Little Stitcher, and that's what it looks like. And this is what the thread I was looking for, because the thread that I had was a little too thick. So this is done on looks like a 14 count Aida, and so what I used was Kreinik. If you look on the top of the candles, I used Kreinik for the light on her candles, and the lines around, I guess, the suns is Kreinik also, but it's a blending filament, so I used 2 strands, and that's it. I didn't want to do the snowflakes around it, so I'll just make that into a little ornament pillow, or I'll make it a pillow for a bowl. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to do the next one on this too, which will be, let's see if I can hide this pattern. For the next month, it's this one by the Knotted Tree Needle Art, and it's called Little Snowy Gift. And that's going to be the October block. I don't think I would do this again as far as committing to it. Like, I committed to it this year. I tore the pattern out because it was, the pattern, I can't show you, but it's going this way. So to turn the book like this, it was difficult, so I just tore the page out. Alrighty, and that's all I've stitched. Today, after I upload this video, I'm going to be working on Templar Prophecy, and that I love to work on. So that'll be a lot of fun. So that's it as far as cross stitching. I'm just going to show you one little quilt that I made, but before I do that, I'm going to do a little giveaway, and it's only for one person, and it's going to be 3 little charts. And the first one is this. I stitched this. This is a 2019 Fragments in Time, and it's that Saltbox house. The second one is also Fragments in Time, and this is 2017, and I did that pillow as well. I don't know where it is right now. And then I did this for July, and this is from the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. It's a mini July, and I stitched this, and I did it on a flat with a pretty red, white, and blue bow. So it's just going to be one person. the question that you will answer is, when I was talking to Maureen, we were discussing like the type of cross stitching we like doing, and we both kind of agreed that we don't have a specific designer or theme. Like a lot of people like primitive, a lot of people like Halloween, a lot of people like samplers. I can't say that there's one thing I like more than something else. I guess if I had to say what I'm working on the most in this coming year is the one designer that I'm working with is the sampler company, because there were a number of samplers that, like the Wisdom one I have to start yet, the New England one I'm going to be starting. I think those are coming up in September. So September is going to be, I'm going to be stitching on a lot of my samplers. And then I have the Scottish sampler from them and the Red House sampler, which I just showed you. So, I mean, right now that's the most from one designer. I have some Blackbirds, of course. And, you know, like I have planned in October to finish the Christmas ornaments that I didn't get to in Christmas. What did I? Oh, for Mania. So, but there's nothing like, I mean, if somebody gave me a pattern and I saw it and I liked it, I'd stitch it. It's not that I go after anybody. So the question that you'll answer is there a particular designer that you enjoy stitching more than others? Or are you more of a sampler person? A sampler meaning sampling everybody's designs. So I guess I'm a sampler person, but not a sampler person that does only samplers. Does that make sense? Okay. Anyway, that's the question. You'll win all three. The person will win all three of these charts. Do not say giveaway. You must be 18 years or older to enter, so that I can ask you for your address to mail these to you. Answer the question, like the video, please, and that's it. So those of you that don't like the quilting part, I'm making this short and sweet. And until next time, have a great end of August, and I'll be back, I don't know, the 31st of August or the beginning of September. We'll see how life takes it. All right, guys, take care. And now for quilting. I spoke to you about doing a name quilt for Caleb, and I was so excited about it. I saw Emily Ann Can Stitch do one for her nephew Ben, and I just thought that was a fabulous idea. And I had the blue and white that I was going to do the name, so I started that as soon as I got the book. And then when the charm packs came, I laid it out and fussed with it, and I realized Emily Ann's is so adorable because it's the right size. She did the 6-inch blocks for the name, and me not realizing that, I did the 12-inch blocks. So it's larger. So if it has to be larger this way and this way, I have to make it wider and longer so that it doesn't look off-centered. And so let me show you. I mean, it's fine. It's going to be a quilt I think I'm going to keep at my house. And when he stays over or he naps when he's a little bit older, and he can appreciate a name quilt. I mean, because I've made them so many quilts already. So this one I'm planning on keeping here. Plus I have to quilt it yet. I just bought the backing fabric yesterday. And I have to stand up because it's big. Okay, here's Caleb. That's the top row of the quilt, and then it goes and goes and goes. I bought some charm packs that had airplanes and trucks, and then I got a 4th of July one, and I just mixed a whole bunch of them in a colorway that I thought would be pleasing, hopefully I did okay. And would I do another one? Absolutely. Probably not 12-inch names, more like 6 inches. Once I guess my granddaughter is born and named, I'll try doing one for her that would have a 6-inch block, and then it would be more easy to lay out the pattern to complete it in a smaller size. So that will be something that I will be quilting eventually. No rush, but it was fun. I love piecing. I love it more than quilting. Quilting, like you have to, especially if you do free motion quilting, I always have to plan it out, and it takes me longer to come up with what I'm going to quilt on it. But so it was a happy mistake. It's a little bit larger than I anticipated, but it'll be better when he's like 5, 6 years old. He'll really like it. His name on it. Who doesn't like a name on something? Anyway, that's it. Okay, so I'll see you in about 2 weeks or so, and hopefully I'll have some more stitching to share with you. It will be hopefully before the beginning of September, but if not, I'll show you what new patterns I'll be starting, and we'll take it from there. Okay, guys, thank you for stopping in and visiting with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye. Happy August.